I would like to speak briefly, if I may, about pledging my allegiance to elitism. Elitism, however, is quite the tainted word. It has a reputation. Contrary to the overwhelming consensus of the many, elitism is not one-sided. It's actually split into two factions. The first are the glitzy-glamoured ones you see parading around on the left side of politics, the rich and the famous. The posturing hypocrites who pride themselves on simply appearing to do the right thing. They care nothing for the troubles of others, they just want to be perceived as caring for others. Their morality is vacuous, their entire lifeblood is a currency of gratuitous public affection, based on nothing but a fictional quantity of amorphous approval. I could just as easily be describing politicians as well as the Hollywood elite, come to think of it. These are the ones whose ideas are conjured up by the universities, by the type that roam the halls of the ivory tower and talk almost exclusively among their own ilk, their reputation depending greatly on the fashionableness of their ideas among their own, how influential it will be upon the world, and sheerly for its perceived moral benevolence. These are the people that peddle their brand of opium to the masses, their brand of ideas walking side by side with the correct politics of the day, and the masses are on their knees, groveling and worshipping them because they're fickle and dim-witted, and falsely assume these brand of sycophants, with all of their wisdom and cunning, will use it for the benefit of humanity, and not utterly exploit the masses for which they have nothing but contempt and condescension. For all of their hatred of Western life, for some reason the reputation built by the universities through the cycle of generations gone by, the universities are the one entity they wish to preserve. One can hardly be surprised as to why. And for this attitude they are the clan of the SAE, the snooty-arsed elitists. And then there's those of us on the other side, the unfashionable, off on the fringes of society, with our noses in the books of history, philosophy, and psychology, going over the quilts and tapestries woven by the grandfathers of time with a magnifying glass and a fine-tooth comb, marveling at the stitches, examining the patterns and wondering where it all goes wrong. And because we do not partake in the opium dispensed by the SAE, we are chastised ironically as the snooty-ass elitists, because who the hell are we to question their all-knowing doctrine? In reality, it's not that we necessarily possess greater intellect or a vast wealth of wisdom. It's merely that we know enough to see the lemmings' ultimate destination, off a cliff. As such, we're the clan of the CAE, the can't-be-arsed elitists. We're aware these people are not in any position to listen to us. They have no reason to. They're joyfully suckling at the teat of another clan promulgating a worldview whose consequence hasn't affected them personally. When it does, or perhaps when they catch a glimpse of the final destination of their chosen worldview, the that sparks that niggle of doubt that might lead them to do a 180 and follow the less beaten path that leads them to the fringes where the rest of us reside. And we won't chastise them for their past sins. Hell, many of us walked that same path at one point or another, and for whatever reason we managed to do the 180 and wander the less beaten path. We're simply grateful our side is growing as more and more people are becoming unplugged. And so which one are you? The one drowning themselves in the blue pills poorly doused in red dye, or the tough-to-swallow genuine article? And that's all for today. Until next time.